All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Stepping Stone. Today, I want to talking about serious things. That might sound a little weird, but what I mean is I want to talk about my experiences and my thoughts and stuff about when it comes to talking about I guess more sensitive or serious issues, whether that's religion, politics, or social issues and stuff. So recently, there's been actually a few instances of things that have kind of been on my mind that I want to talk about and make a video about. But I felt anxious and it felt a bit overwhelming to do so. And I mean, I knew already that was something I struggled with a lot when I was growing up. I feel like I did very poorly when it came to conflict and when it came to tension. I did not have healthy role models or a healthy idea of what it's like to discuss things that are heavy, but do so in a way and I think for me it was harder to navigate the emotional aspect of things. For a very long time, I was very afraid of having serious conversations with people because it would feel really overwhelming when people get emotional and get angry or very passionate about things. And so for a lot of my life, I was actually really apolitical. I was kind of just very pessimistic and cynical. I remember there was even a time where I was I believed oh yeah, emotions suck. F that, bro. People are too emotional, bro. And it was such projection, bro. I realize now in retrospect, I didn't like seeing other people expressing emotions because it was very uncomfortable for me. I didn't know how to deal with that or manage that. And I've come a long way since then. And it's still not easy. I'm able to do it pretty well in my relationship or with close friends and stuff like that. But something that I believe in is the importance of talking about things that matter. I feel especially when it comes to the online world, there's a lot of hesitancy and fear when it comes to taking a stance on things. And I mean, I understand it. For a lot of people, it's their livelihood. They don't want to cause tension or problems. And I agree. Who the hell wants to, dude? It's so uncomfortable. And it just sucks dealing with that. Dealing with people who are very riled up, very angry, having very different views and very passionate and feeling very certain about their views. It's scary stuff, man. And for a long time, I just never wanted to deal with it. I feel ultimately there comes a point on certain issues where things are just too wrong and just so against your integrity and your consciousness that there comes a point for a lot of people where they just feel a need to speak up. And a big part of what I do in this channel is trying to grow into my most authentic version of myself. And part of that includes having integrity and standing up for people and trying to make a positive impact and create understanding and resolve tension, resolve conflict. And in my own social media or amongst friends, I've kind of dabble into things a little more openly and honestly and passionately. But it's something that I also want to be able to do on my channel and on my platform. Whether it's for travel vlogging, I want to be able to be honest about what I'm experiencing, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. I feel it's very important for people to be honest. And I really don't like in the US, I feel there's a lot of animosity on both sides of the aisle and a lot of othering and just ostracizing and rejection. And I understand it. Like, when you feel that what someone is doing is wrong, it can be very hard to engage with them or want to engage with them or be willing to engage with them. The only thing is, when it comes to like a problem-solving perspective, you can't fix or resolve or improve a situation without first knowing what is the situation and then knowing why. Why is the situation like that? And I feel like that's something that is very concerning to me. I feel like maybe part of it is from being online a lot. So you see a lot more divisiveness and polarity, which is very different from real life, as usual. But I feel like even online, I feel like things have gotten worse over the last like 10 years. And at least in the US. But the instance that prompted me to start hitting record and talking is I was on social media and I was seeing about the situation in Indonesia. I don't know much about it. I won't pretend to. My understanding of it is there's a lot of protests against corruption and against income inequality. A lot of like politicians are living it up, having it good, making a lot of money, while most of the people are poor and struggling just to get by. And I saw some videos of, I guess a big incident that happened was there was like a police van that ran over a delivery driver on like his moped or something, and he died. And I think the next day there was a big memorial for him, and I just watched the video, and it made me really emotional. It was like like hundreds of other delivery drivers driving with the people escorting the fallen delivery driver. And I feel like, I mean, as you can tell, it made an emotional impact, and a lot of things make an emotional impact. I'm a pretty emotional person, and that's part of what I want to work on too, is being more emotional. And I think that's part of what makes it very scary to engage in more serious topics. Is it can be a very emotionally charged thing. And I feel like, as someone who is traveling a lot, and as someone who, I try to be very observational and curious and try to understand things. And I feel like there's a lot of social issues that go far beyond just one country. I mean, I feel even this Indonesia incident has a lot of parallels to the US. And I mean, I made a video months ago talking about how I felt like the world was changing, radically changing, and we need to radically change with it. And I feel like things have only gotten very serious and very radically. It's come to fruition, I feel like. And I feel like there's more to come. And there's a lot of change on the horizon. And it's a scary and like anxiety-inducing feeling to have. I hope for the best. I hope things are peaceful and there can be change without bloodshed and human suffering. But I feel like a huge part of that comes down to having talks and having discussions about issues, having changes internally in the mind. That's where change comes from. Words are very powerful. The internet, social media is very powerful. And I feel like I want to be someone who, even though there's risks, even though there are cons, even though there may be repercussions, and I may make mistakes, I may say things poorly, or maybe I do something wrong, I want to be someone who doesn't pretend that I'm perfect. I want to have accountability, have integrity, talk about things with the intention and the care and the respect and the compassion and empathy that they deserve, and do so very carefully. I'm someone that really believes that words matter. I feel like a lot of people are like, they just say whatever they want, man. But words have an impact. There's a really good book called The Four Agreements, and it talks about words being like magic. You can use it in a magical way to uplift people, and you can also use it in a very dark way to destroy and destruct and taint people's souls and livelihoods and minds. And I feel like part of my passion for this is that I feel that I've been someone who has been very hurt and harmed by the things people say, the way people act, without understanding, without trying or wanting to understand someone or a group of people or whatever it may be. For me, a lot of that hurt comes from being a son of immigrants and being Mexican and growing up in the US. That's a topic for another day. But yeah, I think I want to dabble in these things. I'm still figuring out what kind of content I want to make and what feels right and what feels good and what feels cognitively resonant for me. And I also want to make sure I approach things tactfully. I think that's the word. I want to approach things carefully and with respect. And also protect my peace, because I know that things can get ugly when it comes to talking about serious things. So I think that's something I struggle with a lot in my life, is having boundaries and protecting my own peace. And I think that's why it became so hard to engage in those kind of things. But I guess I just wanted to process that out loud and talk about it. And I intend to do a lot more of just talking about things, because that's something that's very important to me. Maybe some people are watching this and they're like, oh, this is whack, unsubscribe. But maybe some people are like, oh, that's cool, I respect that, subscribe, I resonate with you, right? That's what I'm hoping for. And more than anything, that's what I want for myself. I want to resonate with myself and live a life that I believe in and that's in accordance with my values. And I don't have it all figured out. I'm still learning. There's always more to learn. Serious shit is always very complicated. But I want to try my best and do right by me. So that's what I intend to do. So probably more to come. I really enjoy watching Penguin Z0. Penguin Zero, Moist Critical Charlie. Big, huge YouTuber. And something I really respect is that on his main channel, like, all he does most days is just talk about random things he wants to talk about. It could be like current events or some drama or some social issue sometimes. And I want to do stuff like that. I don't know if many people will listen, but some people will. I'm just gonna put it out there into the void and see what happens. Hope that people will understand why I do it. And if not, maybe we can have a conversation and I can help them understand. Maybe not, who knows? I guess that's about it. Here's my mission statement. I want to inspire people to be more curious, connected, and understanding of themselves, each other, and the world around them. Be unafraid to dream and be unrelenting in the pursuit of their dreams. If that sounds cool, give me a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And I'm out of here. Another stepping stone down. I feel really good to have talked about that. And I'm sure I'll feel really good to talk about plenty of more things in the future. So, thank you for watching. Peace.